That is not the music from last week.
Man, pumping music, Dave. I love it. I love it. What is up? And we're in it. It's week 2 of the NFL season, and we are ready to rock. What is all of that background noise? Can you all hear that?
Nope.
No? Oh, all right. I had YouTube playing in the background. So, all right, but hey, we are here. It is week 2. We are ready to get into some start sits. I've got Dave here. I've got Sebastian here to talk injuries. We might see a couple other guys join in. So without further ado, let's just see how everybody's doing. A real quick kind of round robin. And we'll start with Sebastian, the biggest guest of the day. How you doing, buddy? You ready?
I'm good, man. Week 2's here. Let's get it started. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Dave, how about you, bud?
It's ready to go. I'm ready to go. It was a good game on Thursday, better than expected. Week 1 was fun. Let's do it again.
Oh, yeah. All right. We're just going to go down the slate. We're going to start with one game, go through, talk about guys we like, guys we don't like. Maybe we'll run into some specific start-sit situations. But we're going to start with the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Currently, Atlanta is actually underdogs by about 3 points, it looks like right now. So who do you like from the Atlanta side of the ball? Let's go, Dave.
Yeah, I like the running backs. I don't like the pass catchers. Kyle Pitts, you have to start him. The tight end landscape is pretty rough, and so I do have him at, I think, tight end 8 this week. But you got to go with the running backs, and I know that it's the Bijan Robinson fans are not a fan of Tyler Algier or Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith does not care about your fantasy football team at all. But they have a quarterback that's a game manager, and they're going to not put him in any harm's way, and they're going to run the ball. It's the power and strength of that offense. Look for Tyler Algier to get 15-plus touches and Bijan Robinson to get 15-plus touches as well.
I've got both these running backs in my top 24. I got Bijan in the top 5. I got Tyler Algier at 21. I think that's the same thing. They're going to be running the ball. So let's go to the Green Bay side. And Sebastian, who do you like on the Green Bay side and why?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so just confirmed running back Aaron Jones and wide receiver Christian Watson are both going to be inactive today. Both dealing with hamstrings. Neither of them really practiced. Watson got a limited practice in, so there's a little more hope for him. But that was kind of the expectation, is that they're both going to be out. So knowing that, really like Romeo Doubs, 2 touchdowns last week, really showed that connection with Jordan Love. I also think A.J. Dillon, if you have him, I think you got to play him, right? This is going to be his time to shine. No Jones, so he should get the full workload. I know last week was like 19 carries or 13 carries, 19 yards, something like where it was not too great of a production line, but still he's going to get the majority of the workload. Again, I think Dillon should have a pretty decent day. But I really like Doubs there too.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. And Dave, one guy we didn't really touch on, but everybody's going to be kind of, what do I do with him? We talked a little bit pre-show. Drake London, you said, hey, I don't want anything to do with anybody outside of the running backs. But how low do you have Drake London this week? And who are you willing to start over him that people might be like, ooh, really? That's where you're at?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Not only you're going to have not a lot of food on the table with this low pass volume offense, but you're also getting Jair Alexander, who absolutely just took DJ Moore out of the game plan last week. So I have Drake London all the way down at wide receiver 39. I have Gabe Davis, Romeo Doubs, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton, Zay Jones, Puka if he plays over him. He could go up a little bit if some of these guys don't play. Amari Cooper's questionable. Puka's questionable. We heard Nuke Hopkins is going to play, but I'm just avoiding at all costs with Drake London. I don't expect a good day.
Yeah, I'm higher on him. I'm at 37, but it's not very much different. All those guys very playable over him right now. And people forget about Jair Alexander because he's been injured for the last couple seasons. He gets hurt, he's missing games, and now he's fully healthy, and you can see how good he is. So I love it. All right, let's go to our first question here. We got couple guys that maybe we weren't super high on coming into the season, but we've seen some opportunity with the Baltimore Ravens and the Achilles injury with J.K. Dobbins. And we see Tyler Algier, even with Bijan getting a ton of work as well. So what side are you on between Tyler Algier and Gus Edwards? Let's start with Dave.
I have Tyler Algier 2 spots ahead of Gus Edwards.
All right. Sebastian?
Yeah, no, it's pretty close, right? I mean, I guess if you had to pick one, I would go Algier simply because of the injuries to the Ravens offensive line. So you got Ronnie Stanley's going to be out, and you got Tyler Linderbaum out as well. So you got 2 starting linemen out in Cincinnati where they're looking for a get-right spot. So I'm not super high on the Ravens today in general. I think that the Falcons are going to have a little more success on the Packers defense that I'm still not sold on.
Yep, love it. I'm on the same side. I'm going Tyler Algier, and not that he didn't look good, but he didn't look like the 5 to 6 yard carry guy that we got used to in Gus Edwards as kind of that relief back last week. We saw Justice Hill get all the touchdown opportunities. Now that's week 1. Does that translate over into week 2? But I'm not willing to take that shot on him just yet. So 3 for 3 with Tyler Algier. Hey, good luck to you, Greg. Let's move on to Chance. Talking about his flex spot, full point PPR. You going Zach Moss coming off the week 1 injury, missing the game. Maybe he's the lead back in Indy. Who knows? Or Cortland Sutton, again, with the return of Jerry Jeudy, maybe falling back into that wide receiver 2 spot. So let's go Sebastian here on this one. Who do you got in the flex?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty high on Moss there. I think that he is going to go in and kind of assume that RB1 role. Evan Hill had a kind of major knee injury, and then Deion Jackson just didn't look good. I think Zach Moss, now that he's healthy, I mean, he had a forearm injury, so he basically broke his forearm. So now that bone is healed and he's been cleared, he's good to go. There should be no real limitations there. I do think that they're going to have some good opportunities with Richardson and Moss in the backfield against its Texans defense that's pretty beat up right now. So I kind of like Moss, although I will say, I mean, Sutton's not a bad play because I don't think I would be sitting Jerry Jeudy this week. I think with the hamstring injury, it's a very risky injury. There's that re-injury risk there. And also, I mean, it's his first week back. I don't love that Broncos offense anyway, but I'm kind of a little bit higher on Moss, which may be a little bit of an unpopular opinion this week.
Dave?
Not too unpopular for me, man. I like Zach Moss. He was my last pick of the Scott Fish Bowl. I like the usage of him last year when they traded Nyheim Hines. He came over in that trade. And Deion Jackson, he had a nice flash last year, but he is not a powerful runner. And this offense is built around Anthony Richardson and the power running game and what they're trying to do. So even if Jackson gets plays, Zach Moss is going to be the other goal line running back with Anthony Richardson. But Houston Texans is the main reason I like this so much. Houston Texans are the team you want to target until they prove otherwise in the running game. And so the reason that you don't really start pass catchers against Houston is because Houston just can't tackle anybody. And so they don't have to pass the ball. Zach Moss is going to run all over them today.
Yeah, and we're going to go 3 for 3 again, Zach Moss. They're both in the 30s for me from my rankings perspective. Initially, I'm thinking, you know what, full point PPR, maybe I'm going to lean Cortland Sutton. But I think Jerry Jeudy kind of gets involved early on and reassumes that wide receiver 1 role that we kind of saw him take on at the end of the season. So I'm a little less cautious with him in a starting lineup this week than what it sounds like Sebastian is. But maybe I need to reevaluate since the Pro Football Doc or SGPN Football Doc down there is telling me to think otherwise. So, all right, let's move on to the next question. Chance, hope that helped you out, and good luck this weekend. We're going to move on to Anthony, and his question is, okay, hey, Tyler Algier, pretty popular question, but are you willing to start him over Monty this week? Dave?
No.
Yeah,
not at all. This is an easy one, Anthony. Montgomery is, I think the ECR has him at 13. I have him at 12. Algier is a flex play. He's in the 24 to 25 range, but this is don't sit Montgomery because of Gibbs. They both can exist. This is a Kamara and Ingram type of an offense. And big fan of Monty and Seattle. It's going to be a tough sledding for them today.
Yeah, it's 80% plus of snaps. It's not even close for me. Sebastian, how about you, man? Where you at?
No, yeah, I'm there with you guys. I mean, honestly, I like both these guys. I think there's great value in both players because you're getting the hype from the rookie running backs who, I mean, to be fair, they look way more explosive, but both Algier, both Montgomery, they're going to get their carries. Both coaches are kind of stubborn in that way, right? It's a little bit like the Zeke Pollard situation. They're going to get their carries, especially around the goal line. I've got Monty in my starting lineup too. I mean, I like them both, but yeah, I would do Montgomery. I think he's a little more established. The thing also with Algier, although I like him, is Cordell Patterson's coming back this week. So, I mean, is that's going to take some touches away from somebody. So we do have to take that into account. So yeah, Montgomery's the play there.
Yep, love it. TD Kings, welcome in, man. Welcome in. How about you? We're going to hit you up with this question, Monty or Tyler Algier, before we give your introduction.
Yeah, I'll ride with you guys. It's Monty for me. It's very close though. Actually, what makes me want to take Monty is the matchup. I like his matchup more than Algier's matchup, but yeah, I'll take Monty as well.
Love it. Love it. You ready for this weekend? You ready
of course.
to rock?
Of course.
You got your bets in, you got your lineups set.
Yes. Everything is confirmed, good to go. Put all my bets in last night. But I'm a degenerate, so there will be in-game live betting, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh well, you can't go without that. Come on now. Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see. We got any other questions? Let's see. Anthony, good luck this weekend, man. We hope the best for you. We got a Twitter question in here. Standard scoring. We got 3 running backs. Need one of them. James Cook, Kenneth Walker, or A.J. Dillon. Let's go Sebastian first.
Yeah. There's pretty good options to pick from this week. I would probably go I'd probably go Cook because I think that he just got so much of that workload in that Monday night game. And I think that the Bills are going to really look for a get-right spot against this Raiders team, who's still got questions on their defense. I mean, just because they stopped the Broncos offense doesn't do anything, in my opinion. So I think that I would go Cook there, but you got some pretty good options. Walker's would be the guy that I'm thinking about as well, but I think I'd go Cook this week.
All right. Andrew, how about you, bud?
Yeah, it's James Cook for me. Smash spot for James Cook. As Sebastian was saying, Raiders suck. They're awful. It's James Cook here for me all day. I do want to ask you though, Sebastian, what are we hearing about Aaron Jones? Because that could potentially sway the old A.J. Dillon for me. Yeah,
he's out. Yeah, so Jones and Watson are both inactive. That was kind of expected. Honestly, that's probably as a Jones manager. If you got him on your fantasy team, that's probably best case. Let him rest this week. Let him not re-injure it and make it into a Cooper Kupp situation or something like that. But yeah, so Dillon should get the workload. It's just about is he going to produce is the biggest thing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still like Cook's upside. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's Cook's all day. Let's ride.
I love it. Dave, how about you, bud? Muted.
You're muted.
I'll be the lone wolf on the A.J. Dillon train just because of standard scoring. Because of the standard scoring, that's why I'll go Ken Walker and A.J. Dillon. I don't love the matchup at all for Seattle against San Francisco with a banged-up offensive line, and almost just went James Cook here. But I'm going to go Ken Walker, A.J. Dillon because of the standard.
Yeah, I'm rolling Kenneth Walker, so it might be a little bit of a split here because, Dave, you said A.J. Dillon first. Andrew and Sebastian says James Cook, and I'm rolling Kenneth Walker. There was a lot of concern around him with the addition of Zach Charbonnet, and that did not come to fruition last week. Kenneth Walker was the dude, and like Dave said, standard scoring, I want that touchdown upside, and I don't think Detroit's defensive line is – outside of Aiden Hutchinson is really that great against the run. So we'll see how that goes this week. I'm rolling with Kenneth Walker. So, hey, if we could muddy the waters for you, that was the goal of that question, apparently, because we got 3 different answers. So good luck on Twitter for that. All right, next up, another question from Twitter. Pick 2. Tyler Lockett, Zay Jones, or Zay Flowers? Let's go Dave first here.
Yeah, it's PPR, which makes this even better for Zay Flowers and Zay Jones. I'm going to go with Zay Jones and Tyler Lockett. I'm not yet going to put Flowers in my lineup over those guys. And Zay Jones, he is the number 2 in Jacksonville. Christian Kirk he got 6 out of their 25 snaps in 12 or 22 personnel. He was in. So the rest, he was on the sideline. He's exclusively in their 3 receiver sets. And I'm going to go with Zay Jones, who had a great score last week.
All right, Andrew.
Give me Zay Flowers and Lockett. I think Zay Jones, actually, I'm going to disagree with Dave. I think he's going to go behind Christian Kirk this week. Christian Kirk, much better ball player than Zay Jones. I think that they're going to remember that into this game here. Lockett, again, I think Jason's a better player, but Lockett's still the guy that is going to score some fantasy points there as of right now. But yeah, I mean, it's Zay Flowers leaps and bounds ahead of both of these guys all day.
Sebastian?
Yeah, so I'll agree with the Lockett play. I do like him. I think Detroit's defense still isn't very good. So I like that game there. This is a tough one between Jones and Flowers because I'm really high on the Chiefs this week, but that doesn't mean that there can't be a lot of points scored in that game. I'll go Jones there because of really just the game situation. I think that I think the Ravens are going to be in for a little bit of a rough day with missing those offensive linemen, missing J.K. Dobbins now. I think that offense has got shuffled around. I'm not sold on them becoming a totally pass first team either. So I think they're gonna have a bit of a struggle day. So give me Lockett and Jay Zone.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Lockett and Zay Jones. Zay Flowers going up against Cincinnati Bengals. He didn't play as much in the slot as what I expected. They seem to have a nice little rotation between him, Odell, and Bateman in the slot, which means he's going to see a little bit of Chidobe Awuzie, who is a very good corner. So I think they're going to lean on trying to run the ball a little bit. And they distributed the ball not that great last week, right? Do we really expect Zay Flowers to end up with 10 targets and then Odell and Rashad Bateman every week to end up with 3? The other piece to the equation that nobody talked about, Mark Andrews was out last week, and it looks like he's back as well. So I'm leaning away from Zay Flowers this week. But with all that being said, I kind of understand the Zay Jones issue because we're looking at the potential of phones ringing in the background. Zay Jones, look, I think Christian Kirk may be falling out a little bit, right? And Dave and I talked a little bit about him last week on the show or this week on the show. So I am a little concerned around Christian Kirk, but I'm rolling with Tyler Lockett and Zay Jones out of these 3. So good luck this week. Next up, we've got is this a question? CD Lamb or Tyler Algier in full point PPR. I'm just going to cut this out real quick. Is there anybody out of the 4 of us that is not starting CD Lamb out of this?
It's close. It's close for me.
I hate the Cowboys, but I can't.
Oh, geez.
No, we're good.
All right. Let's move on to our IDP expert in Gary. He's got a question. Hey, man, deep call. Can we trust Samaje Perine this week? Anybody trust Samaje Perine this week? I
mean, listen, as a guy that watched the Commanders, every single play of every single game, this is what they're best at, is stopping the run. It's going to be tough, but I mean, if you lost Eckler, I mean, it's a fine play. He was in on majority of the passing downs for Denver as well. So I think he's a better play than Javonte personally. But I wouldn't expect a high total from him against this stout Washington Commanders defense.
Yep. Sebastian?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that game might have like 3 points total in it. I think that's like, just not the offenses I want to watch this week. But Javonte Williams, although he came back, like I think we got to take a second and think like, he had a ACL, PCL, MCL injury. Like the fact that he's even playing right now, like I know we're taking it for granted because he's come back. It's like he's not 100%. He's not close, right? It's cool that he's out there. He's cool that he's getting the volume, but P Ryan, yeah, that's a decent play. Like Andrew was saying, he got a decent amount of the passing yards. If it's PPR, that obviously helps you out there. So I wouldn't expect to be a league winner to really win your matchup this week, but in a pinch, P Ryan can get the job done.
Yep. Dave,
Yeah,
anything to add on P Ryan?
It's a rough week. There's a lot of really tough matchups and some banged up players. So, I mean, Sean Payton targets the running back, and they're using P Ryan in the passing game. So I think that's where you can get some action, especially if it's PPR. Not a high ceiling, but I think you get 7 to 10 points. Maybe he falls in the end zone.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's move on to the next one. What is up? And we got the question around Mike Evans, right? Dave, you and I, we kind of got shut the hell up last week talking about Mike Evans because we were not high on him at all going into that game. And he actually had a little bit of chemistry with Baker Mayfield. But your love of Zay Flowers, you already said you bench him, but would you play Zay, or you'd play him this week, or maybe not trust him a little bit back and forth? Are you going to start him over Mike Evans?
I got Mike Evans ahead of Zay Flowers just a little bit. I know it sounds like I hate Zay Flowers, and that's like my guy, but he's still rookie. Still got Mark Andrews coming back. Still got a banged up offensive line. And we'll see if I'm chasing points or if I'm wrong here. But I'm going to go Mike Evans.
Yeah, I got Mike Evans at number 20 right now. I'm still relatively high on him. He's going up against an absolutely pitiful Chicago Bears defense, so I think he's going to have a much better game. I've already talked about Zay Flowers, and I'm pretty low on him this week. So, Sebastian, how about you, man?
Yep, absolutely, Mike Evans. That's actually a game, Bears, Bucks. I think that there could be a lot more points than people think. I mean, so the Bucks have 3 starters out on their defense, and the Bears defense just sucks. So I really think that there's some opportunity that's a game where, a lot of people are trying to avoid with such a low total. I think it's like 41. But I think that, I think Evans could have an opportunity. I think even Baker's a sneaky DFS play this week. So, some opportunity there.
Love it. Andrew, how about you?
Yeah, I love Zay Flowers, but let's go Mike Evans. Mike Evans is part of my ladder challenge. The week 2 of the ladder challenge, turning $10 into $10,000. So I can't fade Mike Evans. I expect a pretty big game from him.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's move on to the next question from Nate or Nathan. Not sure how you go, so we're going to go Nathan because that's what you wrote on the sheet. Dak or Daniel Jones as your starting quarterback? Let's go to Andrew first on this one.
Dan Jones, 1,000%. Fade Dak against the Jets. Sauce Gardner is going to eat him alive. Don't forget, this man tied Davis Mills last year for the league lead in interceptions while missing 5 games. Fuck the Cowboys. It's Dan Jones.
All right, let's move on to Dave, the resident Giants fan. Are you comfortable starting Dan Jones over Dak?
Hey, we got 2 Giants fans on the call, and we're gonna go Daniel Jones here. Jets are a tough D. And, Giants have the softest matchup on the slate.
Yep. Sebastian? He's going.
Yeah. I mean, after last week, after last week, it's a little bit like, well, shit. But no, I think you got to go Dan Jones here just on the matchup, purely on the matchup. Jones, if they need him, he's going to need to use his legs. Andrew Thomas is, I believe, active this week, which is huge for that Giants offense in general, who clearly need to block anything they can. So, I'm going Dan Jones there.
Yep. And Dable, I expect him to get that offense back on the wheels, back on the offense and start moving the ball. So let's move it. There's a lot of – Nathan's got another question for us. There's a lot of Zay Flowers kind of, hey, do I tilt with these 10 targets he got last week? Would you start him over Michael Thomas? The return of Michael Thomas last week. Sebastian, let's go to you first.
I'm going Zay Flowers. I don't trust Michael Thomas. I don't know. I might have a little bit of bias. I've been fading him for a couple years now, so I'm not going to start. I just think that injury is always right around the corner. That Saints offense is, still got some questions there. It's a little bit tough. I don't really love either of these guys this week, but I will go Flowers there just because I don't trust Bateman yet, and OBJ's a little bit too old for my liking.
All right, Dave.
I got Thomas one spot behind Flowers, 27-28.
All right, Andrew.
It's Flowers. The famous saying is Mike Thomas is as soft as Charmin Ultra. So, yeah, I mean it's Flowers, man. Can't go Mike Thomas. I expect Jamal Williams to be the one scoring all the touchdowns in that game.
I want to know how high
I'm
Andrew's
odd man
got
out.
Dave Flowers.
Oh man,
odd man
I'm
out.
very high on Zay Flowers. Did you see what this man did last week? His route running tree was incredible, and a majority of his stuff came close to the line of scrimmage. I think that's how you're going to beat the Bengals if they are going to beat them. Is give it to your playmakers close to the line of scrimmage and let them do the work. So yeah, man, I'm very high on Zay Flowers this week.
I'm sorry, Michael Thomas. I got Michael Thomas about 4 spots over Flowers. Look, J.C. Horn is on the IR. J.C. Horn's out. Michael Thomas looked decent. He looked good. I get it. Chris Olave is the guy there, but I go back to I just think the matchup, the Bengals get right this week. The Bengals are a much better football team than what we saw last week against my Cleveland Browns, which I was very happy to see. Don't get me wrong. But Joe Burrow is not an 82-yard-a-game passer. I expect that to be corrected. I think that defense steps up and plays really well because they really did play pretty good against the Browns. Browns did not have a great game offensively outside of Nick Chubb. And I think because of that, the Ravens look to run the ball. And again, Mark Andrews is the number one target in Baltimore, not Zay Flowers. So I'm not pivoting to Zay Flowers just yet. I'm rolling with Michael Thomas. And it's not like I hate Zay Flowers. They're 4 spots apart, right? So it's not a huge delta. But if I go by my rankings, I got to go MT here. So love to hate it. Love to hate it. So, all right, good luck.
The show, I know it sounds like the show is sponsored by Zay Flowers, but it's actually brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they just bet $5 on football, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. And we're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN for your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code SGPN. And don't forget about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20 times in one game. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And last but not least, finally brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app and visit hofbets.com. Use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets.
All right, we got a ton of questions coming in, so we're going to speed this up a little bit. Maybe only go to one or two people per group, but let's move on to RB. He's saying, hey, pick one, Chuba, Dion, or Gus Edwards. Let's go, Andrew.
My God, I don't want to start any of these guys, but let's go Gus Edwards. I love Gus Bus, and I like Chuba as well, but man, these guys, this is not a good start, but I'll go Gus.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Good luck, RB. Michael Richardson says JSN or Davis. I'm assuming that's Gabe Davis. So who are we looking at there? Sebastian.
Yeah, I think you go Gabe Davis here. I think that, JSN's still coming into his own, still working back from that wrist injury. I don't think he's a bad play as like a very low risk kind of sneaky DFS play. He's pretty cheap. But I do think the Bills are going to put it on the Raiders. They really need to get right spot, similar to the Bengals. So I go Gabe Davis.
Love it. Love it. Next up from Adam, our one and only Dave. Who you got here? Jerry Jeudy, Tyler Algier, or Dalvin Cook?
I'm going to go Tyler Algier. I think he's been a very popular name on the show today. I'm going to take Sebastian's advice and take it easy. Even though I'm very excited about Jerry Jeudy, I want to take it easy. Play Tyler Algier. I think he's a very safe play. He actually got more touches than Bijan Robinson last week. And in the goal line, they're using him quite a bit. And Dalvin Cook's got a very tough matchup. And then he's also got Zach Wilson at quarterback.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's move on to Michael. Michael's got a question. Michael Thomas, who we talked about a little bit earlier, or Cortland Sutton? Andrew.
These guys are very close for me. Damn. You know what? I'm gonna go Cortland Sutton. I think the Saints rout the Panthers, so I think that's gonna not. They won't need to pass as much in that game. I think the Broncos will need to. Again, Washington's very good at stopping the run. They're so at stopping the pass. I don't think he's going to be shadowed by Emmanuel Forbes either, especially with Judy out there every now and again. So let's go with. Oh my God, you took it off the screen. Oh, Cortland Sutton. Sorry.
My bad.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's move on to Dylan's question around Dak or Tua, and I'm going to take this one because it's easy. I'm going Tua. I don't think anybody on this, on this group right now is looking at Dak either based on the conversation that we had a little bit earlier on. So roll with Tua and have some confidence, Dylan. Let's go on to Shane. Shane's got a question. Okay, Sanders, Algier, or Pickens? Miles Sanders, Tyler Algier, or George Pickens in the flex? Let's go, Sebastian.
All right. Yeah, this one's a little bit tougher. I think I got to go Algier. So George Pickens, he's still dealing with a little bit of, I believe it's a hamstring injury, so he's not really 100%. I do, like that he'll get a little bit more opportunities with Deontay Johnson out. I just don't know if I can trust him against the Browns defense. Looked pretty good. So I actually like Calvin Austin or Allen Robinson there a little bit better. But, yeah, I'm going to go Algier, and I think just game script, the Panthers, like Andrew was saying, they're going to get their ass kicked. So Sanders isn't going to get that many opportunities.
Just because this one's a little bit closer, I feel like. I want to get everybody's quick take on this. Dave, where are you at on this one?
I got Miles Sanders a little bit ahead of Algier, but I don't like the matchup against the Saints. But he was getting quite a bit of the workload over there, so I'm going to go with Sanders.
Andrew?
Algier.
Ooh, I'm going to go Sanders. So we got 2 and 2. So good luck, Shane.
Pickens was left out. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just waiting for Pickens to get kicked out of a game for punching somebody in the face. If you watch him play, he just gets so mad all the time. And, he's just waiting for it. So we're going to see another water bottle incident soon.
All right. And then Shane's got another question in his tight end position. Is it Chigakonkwo or is it Dawson Knox, full point PPR? Let's go to Andrew for this one.
Man, so this is one of those times that I look at this and I want to look at my opponent. If I think my opponent's going to route me a little bit, I'm going to take the upside of Knox. If not, I probably want to take Chig. Chig would have scored a touchdown last week and wide open. Tannehill missed him. I don't think that's going to happen all the time. So I feel like if you want to take a ceiling play, go with Knox. I feel like Chig could potentially be a little safer. DeAndre Hopkins a little banged up in that offense as well. So yeah, I'm going to ride Chig if you gun to my head, but I look at my opponent's lineup on this one.
Love it. Love it. And for those of you that we've already answered your start sit questions and you're thinking, man, I need to get some bets in, make sure you go tune in to the SGP pregame show. Sean and Kramer are running that as of about 2-3 minutes ago. So make sure you go check that out on the SGP YouTube channel. Good luck, Shane. Let's move on to Sam. Sam says, hey, we welcome you back. We hope you did good last week with our questions and our answers. He's back for more. 2 wide receivers between Jerry Jeudy, Romeo Doubs, Elijah Moore, and Jahan Dotson. Nice squad, Sam, first off. Nice squad. Dave, who are you starting 2 out of these 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep switching back and forth to my rankings here, but I'm gonna go Dobbs and Dotson. I'll check the rankings to see if that's any different, but I like Dobbs with Christian Watson out. He seems to have good rapport with Jordan Love, and then Jahan Dotson. Terry McLaurin is he's still dealing with the toe injury, but he's also dealing with Patrick Surtain. I think Dotson ends up being the primary today, and I like Dotson a lot.
Just because it's Browns, can I just say one thing? I'm sorry, I can't go without talking about it. Like Amari Cooper's injury on Monday night, we're not sure if he's going to play or not. Elijah Moore garnered 7 targets, got some work out of the backfield. Like, it's the guy you got to pay attention to, and could have a very explosive game. I'm not sure that I'm ready to put him in over either Dobbs or Jahan Dotson this week. But if you're looking for maybe a little bit of a potential blow-up game, I think this could be it for Elijah Moore this week against Pittsburgh Steelers, who are atrocious against the pass. So All right, let's move on to next question. And Sneak is in. He says, "Hey, full point PPR: Tyler Algier, Tyler Lockett, or Brees Hall." Andrew, where you at?
Algier. I don't know if you see the trend here with me and Algier, but I'm really high on Algier as well. I mean, the Falcons show us what they want to do. They want to smash the ball with Bijan and Algier. Lockett is probably going to get some opportunities, but I think Algier is going to touch the ball a lot more. I'm not ready to put in Brees Hall yet, especially against this Cowgirls defense that looks good week one. I'm a little suspect on that yet, but Brees Hall's not going to get a full complement of work yet, so it's Algier for me.
Love it. All right, good luck, Sneak. Let's move on to Eddie. Eddie says, Chris Godwin or DJ Moore, full point PPR. Sebastian.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'll go DJ Moore, actually. Yeah. I was going back and forth on this one. I like them both because I think that matchup again is gonna have more points. Yeah, the Bucks got Carlton Davis is out. I think I got a safety out, and I know Kalijah Cansey's out. So that defense is a little banged up. I think the Browns are going to get DJ Moore way more involved. He barely touched the ball last week. I think they realized they need to correct that. So
love it. All
did
right,
the Browns trade for DJ Moore?
No, did I say the Browns? The Bears. My bad.
Brad was happy.
Yeah, hey, I'm good with my wide receiver core. I don't need DJ Moore. I've been kind of a DJ Moore hater for a long time, mainly because one of my best friends loves the guy, and I just have to hate it just because he loves him. So, all right, good luck with you, Eddie, this weekend. Sam's got another question around Superflex. He's got three good guys, got a little bit of rushing upside with all three of them. But who are you starting this week, Dave, between Justin Fields, Deshaun Watson, and Anthony Richardson?
With Amari Cooper out, I'm gonna have to go Fields and Richardson. He at the Houston Texans. You got the rushing floor as well as the rushing upside. Both those guys. I think you got three top 12 options. I think these guys are all in my top 12, and so I'm good either way. But Fields is the leader of the pack, and then I'll go Richardson. He's one spot higher than Watson in my rankings.
There you go, Sam. Good luck. Hey, glad to hear that you won your week one matchup, and we hope the same goes in week two for you. And hey, Greg, we should have just answered your question, but you know what? I'm going to kick it to somebody else. We heard Dave say he would start Anthony Richardson over Deshaun Watson, but Sebastian, who would you start out of these two?
Yeah, I'm going Richardson here. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not super high on either of these guys, but for fantasy-wise, yeah, they'll get the production. I just think they have a way better matchup. Texans, that defense is beat up. They can't stop the run. And, yeah, for one thing AR-15 can do, he can definitely run. Saw that a lot in the swamp. His passing's a little questionable, but so's that Texans defense.
Love it. Love it. All right, so I want to move to a couple games in the slate that we haven't really talked about a lot of players in. So the first game we'll go to is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. I don't think we've talked a single player out of this game up to this point. So let's go with the San Francisco 49ers and that not hodgepodge, but just really elite offense when you think about all the different pieces that they have, whether it's the running back and Christian McCaffrey, whether it's the wide receivers in Debo and Brandon Ayuk, or whether it's the tight end in George Kittle. So are any of these guys you're looking at saying, you know what? There's so much I'm sitting, or is it a full start across the board along with Brock Purdy against what looked like a decent LA Rams defense last week? So, Andrew, how are you feeling with the San Francisco 49ers, and are any of these guys fades for you this week?
It's really hard to say. Again, I think it's based off of off of what your roster looks like. I guess the guy that I feel best about kind of getting off of is Kittle. Just based off of last week's usage, and Brandon Ayuk was just balling out. Debo's obviously going to get his, and they're not going to take the ball out of CMC's hands, a lot either. So I think again, Kittle and Ayuk are the ones that I think are going to go back and forth every week. So again, Kittle's probably the one I would easily fade if possible on my team. But again, we know how the tight end landscape looks, so that might be hard to do. So I really, it's based off of, who else you have there. But, Kittle would be my least favorite out of all of them.
All right. How about you, Sebastian? Where are you at with the 49ers offense? Anybody you're fading? Anybody you're a little bit higher on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to fade that offense really because they looked really good last week. And yeah, I don't think the Rams are going to be a great defense. I would agree there. I think Kittle. I kind of took a under on him on the season. I think that groin injury is still there a little bit, and there's always that potential to re-aggravate it. So that was what kind of scared me off initially, picking that up. He kind of picked it up early in training camp, and then it came back up, and I was a little worried about his week 1 availability. So yeah, I think Kittle, if anything, but still, I mean, with the tight end market, if you have Kittle, you have to start him. I mean, who are you starting over him? So I think it's hard to fade that offense right now.
All right, Dave, I want to give you a little bit more specific question around Debo, because I think Ayuk, at least for me, Ayuk is a smash play. Unless you have top tier talent that is starting over him, you're likely not benching Ayuk. Debo is a little bit more of a question to me. So, Dave, between Debo and Mike Williams, who are you starting?
Mike Williams.
Between Debo and DK Metcalf, who are you starting?
I'm actually starting Debo. I'm fading DK Metcalf this week because of the tackle situation. When Geno Smith is under pressure, the QB rating goes much higher towards a Lockett side than it does DK Metcalf. And so I'm fading DK Metcalf a little bit this week. Debo, I think Brad might have picked him on purpose for me because I'm not the Debo guy. I'm actually there's a Instagram from Game Day HQ, and I'm getting absolutely hammered because I said Debo Samuel's overrated. I'm not allowed to watch football anymore. But as far as fantasy football, he's been really a really tough play because he's always banged up. He's since Christian McCaffrey's been over, he's not been great. And so people draft him as a top 15 receiver, and he barely is a top 15 receiver. That being said, I'm higher on Debo this week than I usually am. I'm not sitting any of the San Francisco 49ers. I might sit Brock Purdy over those guys in a one quarterback, but he's as safe as it comes. I got him as a streamer this week. You can put him in, plug and play if you got a guy like Dak with a tough matchup. Kyle Shanahan is just so good. I'm playing everybody on this 49ers offense.
All right, let's move on to the next question we've got from our SGPN network. DJ Moore or Miles Sanders, full point PPR, Andrew?
Oh, man. Do not love either one of them. I'm going to take DJ Moore, though, because, again, I think this game gets out of hand for the Panthers a little bit, and they're going to sit Sanders, not give him so many opportunities. I think his high-value touches favor DJ Moore than Miles Sanders as well. So, yeah, I'll ride DJ Moore.
All right, cool. Good luck, and, hey, ride DJ Moore. Let's move on to Sam. He's got another question around his tight end position. Kyle Pitts or Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry making a comeback last week under Bill O'Brien's offense. 6 targets, a touchdown. Where are we at with this situation, Sebastian? How are you feeling about this? Would we have ever thought that in week 2 we're talking Hunter Henry over Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, I know. It's definitely we've come a long way from the Kyle Pitts Hall of Famer from the draft. So I think I'm gonna go Hunter Henry actually. Yeah, I actually liked what I saw out of that Patriots offense. I also think that the Dolphins are coming in a little banged up. That may be a little bit more high scoring than we're used to seeing in the kind of typical New England Miami game. I just am not buying in on Kyle Pitts. I don't think they're using him right. I mean, I just also don't trust Desmond Ridder. Like the comment says, yeah, I think Ridder kind of sucks. So yeah, give me Hunter Henry.
Oh, how dare we talk about Desmond Ridder 80+% completion percentage last week? All right,
that offense
Sam,
is only
good luck.
As high as his ceiling.
Yeah. Sam, good luck again this week. Blast me away. Hey, morning, bud. Hope we get you the answer that you're looking for and get you a win. He's got 1 wide receiver spot and a flex available and a slew of guys to pick from. So, between Mike Williams, Michael Pittman, and James Conner, what 2 are we plugging and playing, Dave?
What 2? Oh, that
He's
makes
got
it
a wide
easier.
receiver slot and a flex available.
So I'm putting Mike Williams in for sure. I think Michael Florio announced it was Mike Williams Day. It's going to be a good day for Mike Williams, I think, against Tennessee. This one's tough as far as Pittman and Connor. I did like Pittman last week as far as he was picking up chunk plays, 20 yards per throw. That RPO offense is nice, and he gets a lot of space out there. But he doesn't get a lot of volume, so I'm going to go James Conner in the flex because he got all of it. I think he had like 99 or 100% of the RB work last week, and I'll go him just because volume is king.
All right. Anybody else got a different perspective on that out of the two before we move on to the next game in the slate?
I'd take Pittman personally. Pittman's been one of the only wide receivers who has scored multiple touchdowns against the Texans since 2022. For some reason, he has their number. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball super well. So I think Pittman does get his opportunities. I'm also a James Conner hater, so take that into consideration and with a grain of salt.
I love it. Sebastian, any difference for you?
Damn. Yeah, I definitely, Mike Williams is the easy one. Between Connor and Pittman. Yeah, I think I'd actually go Connor. Yeah, like Dave was saying, it's just he's going to get everything there. Where else are they going to go? And we'll see how this Giants defense holds up. So.
Yeah, the issue I have with Michael Pittman is I know that touchdown shows up on the stat sheet, but that was a behind the line of scrimmage throw for that he made some stuff happen. And I get it, right? It's stats are stats, but I just don't know that I'm confident in what Anthony Richardson can do with his arm and that offense necessarily just yet. So I'm leaning away from the Michael Pittman Jr. play as well. So, all right, let's move on to go ahead. Go ahead, Andrew.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, so I have a question for you three. I'm in a guillotine league and I'm really stuck because I lost DJ and Eckler last week. So I need a flex play here. Full point PPR, Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Quentin Johnston, or Juwan Johnson.
I'm riding that Roshan Johnson train. Dave and I were talking about it a little bit before, and maybe I'm a little early, maybe I'm a little high, but I expect that team to be in garbage time quite a bit this year. And it's clear that Roshan Johnson is the pass catching guy, and he looked good while doing it. So I'm rolling Roshan Johnson. Tanks Bigsby, I know he got the touchdown last week, but he didn't really look all that great running in that game. So I'm going Roshan.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
No, I can get behind that. Unless injury happens, Bigsby's not taking ETN off the field. There is a world where Roshan Johnson takes over this backfield as soon as today. I don't know if he does it against Tampa because Tampa is an absolute – that's a really tough matchup. But I'm going to go with Roshan Johnson. He got a touchdown last week. He also got targets. He did look better. He's more efficient. I'm going to go with him over Bigsby. But, that's a tough one.
Sebastian?
Yeah, give me the names again, sorry.
Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Quentin Johnston, or Juwan Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, I think you gotta go. Roshan. Yeah, I kind of like Tank as a guy. I was on him as an anytime touchdown guy last week because he they might throw him in there. He runs hard, but that boneheaded mistake of just like dropping that fumble or letting them take that back that's hard to come back from. I mean, that's a pretty deep doghouse there. So I think you got to go Roshan there, and hopefully I think the Bears are going to put up more points than people expect this week. So
Love it. All right, let's move on to our next question here. Quinn says, dude, one target, no catches. Where are we at with Drake London? Are you fading him? Are you trading for him? Are you getting him off your roster? Dave, where are you at with Drake?
Yeah, I'll trade for him after this week, but I'm not going to trade for him right now because he's not going to go in my lineup. Jair Alexander is really good, and so he primarily plays outside, and he's going to have Jair Alexander almost all day, and he's also maybe get 3 or 4 bites at the apple. So I got him at wide receiver 37.
Andrew, how about you? Drake London, where you at?
Man, it's kind of dead to me a little bit. If you can get something good for him, I would trade him away personally. I just think that, again, the Falcons show us exactly what they want to do by having a great offensive line and 2 good running backs. They just want to pound the ball as much as they can. We saw them last year, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same this year. When they're losing, they're still running the shit out of the ball. The opportunities for Drake London's and Kyle Pitts to succeed are diminishing quickly. I do think that they will eat into each other's work as well. I think I'd rather still have Pitts, but man, I don't know. There was so much hype around Drake London and what he could do, and I just don't see it anymore. So yeah, I would be trading him away if I could, if I can get something good. If not, I'm fine rostering him, just holding him on the bench, but I'm definitely not playing him.
Sebastian?
Yeah, no, I think, and I know my buddy Quinn here is feeling good after this Gators win, so shout out to Quinn there, good buddy back from college. But I think you cut your losses with Drake London if you can. Like I said, if you can't get anything for him, hold him because he's got so much potential. I had him last year and he made some really nice plays as a rookie. Like he's got potential, but like you guys have echoed, this Atlanta offense is just going to run the ball. They're going to pound the rock, and they're going to do nice stuff to Bijan to get him out in space. And they'll sprinkle and dime it, but I don't trust Ritter to really get those kind of deep threats that London thrives with.
Yeah, and I get the concern with Jair Alexander. If you go take a look at PFF, Jair Alexander lined up on the right side the majority of the Week 1 game against Chicago. And Drake London was on the left side of the Atlanta formation. So he may not see a ton of Jair Alexander this week. But the confidence level's kind of low right now. I went and traded for him in as many leagues as possible after last week because can you really get any lower than 1 target and no catches? I think he sees more targets because they're going to. But the other thing that I didn't know before I traded for Drake London, anybody know what Arthur Smith's quote was when they asked if they were going to try to get Drake London going and the passing game going?
We'll let the fantasy guys figure that out.
Yeah.
What is?
Yeah, he talked about we'll do what we need to do to win the game. And that is not a great confidence booster for Drake London, Kyle Pitts owners. So
Desmond Ritter 1 catch, Drake London 0.
Oh goodness! All right, I got another question for y'all. Kansas City Chiefs. We haven't talked really much about them at all. If I was to ask you who the number 1 receiving option outside of Travis Kelce is this week, who are you trusting to put in a flex, if at all? Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, MVS, Justin Ross. Who are we looking at? Because that passing game did not look good last week without Travis Kelce. So, Andrew, do you have any confidence to flex any of these wide receivers this week against Jacksonville defense?
Yeah, I think Kadarius Toney is my favorite out of them, and here's why: is that I think that they give him all the opportunity to not fuck this up again. If he does, I think he's dead to them. I think this is his shot to prove that he can catch the ball. If he does, I think he's going to be a good rest of the way out fantasy receiver. But yeah, for me, I'll just take the final upside of Kadarius Toney. I think if you want a floor play, MVS seemed to be the only guy who was like truly reliable in the offense. Obviously that was without Kelce, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, if I have to stick one in my flex, I'll still ride Toney and pray to God this guy found some glue that he put on his hands.
Dave, how about you, bud?
I don't know if you guys saw Jordan Loops, his meme, but it was pretty good. It said breaking news: Kadarius Toney out for 9 weeks, broken hands. Quote from Andy Reid was, "There's no broken bones. Those just don't work." And so it was pretty good. But I'm gonna go Kadarius Toney as well. I got Kadarius Toney at wide receiver 48. I agree that with what Andrew said, that they're going to try to get him involved because Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were both vocal this week about talking about Toney and getting him involved and being behind him. And that's the type of coach Andy Reid is. like first play of the game, bubble screen to Kadarius Toney. It's like you're gonna see them try to get him involved. Does that mean he actually catches it? Does he actually stay healthy the whole game? I don't know. That's why I got him at 48, but I got him above the other guys. Another guy that I think is sneaky, and you're like, if you want to throw like the cheapest guy possible in the DFS lineup, Richie James. Richie James can get open, and if they do turn to somebody else, he is on that offense, and he was pretty good for the Giants last year. And you look at like he was up there with guys like Tyler Lockett and Paris Campbell as far as being open. He had one of the most. He was, I think, 62% of his routes he was open last year.
Cool, Sebastian. Who's your guy? Who are you highest on?
Yeah, no, I get what y'all are saying with the Toney stuff, because he does get a lot of goal line work at the end of last year. They were really using him with the gadget player. I'm not. It hurts me to say this as a former Gator, but I'm done with Kadarius Toney. I actually think MVS. He kind of was the most consistent last week, and he does have that big play ability. Obviously, when he catches the ball too, because he's had his problem with drops. But I kind of like MVS, but I was pretty high on Richie James for week 1 with Kelsey out. He just didn't get much at all, which was pretty unfortunate. So I kind of think MVS is the guy there.
Yeah, I love it. And look, I'm not saying you got to start this guy or you flex him or you even really think about him getting on your roster. But at some point in time, if this wide receiver core does not step up, Justin Ross is going to get an opportunity, right? He's an explosive player. I know he's had a ton of injury issues, but he had a great camp, had some great catches, got a little bit of opportunity in week 1, even being the 5th wide receiver on the depth chart behind Justin Watson and Sky Moore and MVS and Kadarius Toney. But if Kadarius Toney can't catch the ball, and Justin Watson is the best option you have after that because nobody else is really that great, he's going to get some opportunity. And he's a guy I'm willing to spend a roster spot on right now to see, especially in dynasty formats. So pay attention to that situation because it could get out of hand really quick because outside of Travis Kelce, they really don't have anything else right now. So all right, gents, anything else? Burning questions. We've been going an hour. It's 12:30. Everybody's got to get their lineup sets, final rankings in, all of that. Is there any burning things that you want to touch on before we get out of here? Dave.
No, just make sure you guys go check out the codes we gave you earlier. You get whether it's going on to DraftKings Sportsbook and getting that SGP code to get you some $200 in bonus bets, or go into Game Time, get $20 saved on your next game.
Love it. Sebastian, anything on your end? Burning questions?
Yeah, no, just real quick, just a little recap. The guys that I'm looking to avoid due to injury this week: DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, who's likely not going to be even active, and Jerry Jeudy. I think guys you really want to trust is Travis Kelce and Zach Moss. I think they're going to get some good opportunity coming off injury. Always do it a weekly injury report over on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. So make sure you check that out so you're well ahead and you can set your lineup there.
Deonta Foreman is now out, which makes that Roschon Johnson play a little bit even sweeter. So Andrew, any shout outs, any last minute burning questions?
Well, as always, we love when people go in and buy some merch. Such, you can get this sweet ass fantasy football shirt that I got on here.
Yeah, get some.
Always shout out to the merch god himself, Jake Paquin. Also, FYI, if everyone didn't do this after week 1, please do it after week 2. Check your waivers activity. See who was dropped. A lot of people overreact to shit. Look at who was dropped. You might be able to scoop up some nice players that were drafted and people just, fell out of favor with over the first 2 weeks. So make sure you go in there after the waivers run and see who was dropped. You might be able to pick up some nice gems. Finally, Sebastian, Kelce or Andrews, who is in the better shape right now to play football?
Kelce by a mile. Even if I think they're both limited, but he's going to get, I really think he's going to get like 15, 20 targets this game. Like we talked about, I mean, they just looked so lost. And I think with the tight end, they come back a little easier. the fact he even had a shot to play last week tells me he's better. And I don't trust that Ravens offense this week.
Couple other last-minute things coming out. Cordero Patterson is now out, will not be playing this week. Chris Evans is also out. So this brings to question, this is my
That's
last
shocking.
deep Dynasty League question. Dave, as my resident Dynasty host, are you willing to flex in a deep league? Let's say you start 15. Would you play Chase Brown this week, who is now active as basically the guy behind Joe Mixon?
No, I really hope you got better options. Chris Evans wasn't going to be in your lineup, so why would you put Chase Brown? I'm avoiding that. I think that there's a very high chance it gives you a donut and a very low chance that he gets you some actual points.
Man, no Chase Brown love. No Chase Brown love.
I just traded Chase Brown this morning for Zay Jones.
Oh, very nice. And that team is how it's done. All right. Hey, good luck to everybody today in week 2. I hope everybody gets that win. And if not, maybe you get some good things, some trade bait, something good for your team long term. So, hey, thanks to everybody for jumping on. Make sure you give us a like, a subscribe. Check us out at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I'm at FF Bourbon Duve, Dave at Dynasty Dork, Sebastian, SGPN Football Doc, and Andrew A. Rob 23. And hey, let it, actually, we'll go token phrase. Let it ride.
Let it ride.